That's the old town down there. So this is at one of the entrance gates to Dubrovnik, and there's a nice view of the harbour from up here. If it's like this in October, goodness knows what it's like in the middle of August. Already there are plenty of people on the city wall tour. Okay gang, so after a very steep climb, we're now on the city walls. And considering it's nearly November, it's seriously hot. 25 degrees today. So from the castle walls you get a splendid shot of the old town. We can see the mountains in the background. And from this part of the walls you can actually get a glimpse of the sea over there. Nice panoramic shot over the city. A lovely view of the sea from the castle walls at Dubrovnik over the Adriatic. In fact, there's a couple of people going for a swim down there. Whoa! Bravissimo! Well, this is a very charming view of the Adriatic from the city walls. And that's the new town just outside the walls down there. Charming little cafe on the castle walls. Lots of ferry boats going out to the islands, and we can see the old town and a bit of the castle in the background. You can see the mechanical statue up there striking 12 o'clock on the town clock. So we can see Lokrum Island in the distance, and then the rooftops of old Dubrovnik, sweeping slowly round, and we're coming up to the exits from the city walls now, so a well-earned cold drink at this point. Well, time for a very charming breakfast by the harbour at Dubrovnik. Well gang, I think we're at the top of Fort Lovrovich now, Fort St. Lawrence, which of course is used for Game of Thrones. And if we turn round we can see the top of the fort there. There's another floor to go up I think, but my goodness, what fantastic views over towards the island of Lokrum. And that's Dubrovnik Old Town down there, fantastic. So you certainly get great views out of the windows from the fort over to the island of Lokrum there. You can just see a little ferry boat coming towards us. So gang, we get fantastic views from the Game of Thrones castle. I think it's called Fort Lovrovich. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it means St. Lawrence Fort anyway. And you can just see the top of the rooftops there of the old town of Dubrovnik. Okay gang, so this is as far up as you can go on the Game of Thrones castle, and I'm just going to take in the view now of old Dubrovnik. So yesterday we walked along the city walls and did the old town. What a fantastic view, the mountains are beautiful, and you can see Lokrum over there. So this is where Game of Thrones all happened. Even the new town looks very spectacular. But the old town, of course, is King's Landing in the show. You can see the cable cars still going up to the top of the mountain. And we're going to re-enter the city now through the Pillar Gate and do a passeggiata and then get something nice to eat. Dubrovnik looks particularly enchanting in the early evening when the lights start to come on. It's not quite dark yet, but the little lights are all starting to light up. So, as always, there's a bit of a market on in one of the little squares today, like that statue over there. Over there is the famous Spanish steps, which were apparently designed by the same person who built the Spanish steps in Rome, and there's a kind of Jesuit church at the top. So finally we got to the Spanish steps. This is where the Walk of Shame took place in Game of Thrones, of course. But we're going to head up towards the Jesuit church at the top. We can now enter the Jesuit church. Here comes the cable car behind the trees. Well gang, we're taking a ferry to the island of Lokrum this morning, and as you can see it gets pretty full. Remember, this is quite a bit off season. Well, it's a beautiful day for a visit to the island of Lokrum. Lokrum is famous for its peacocks, which walk around even in the cafe. Lokrum Island is mostly pine trees, so it gives a nice bit of shade from the sun, which can be quite fierce in this neck of the woods. So we're at the monastery complex now in Lokrum, which, as you can see, is mostly ruins, but very charming nevertheless. And of course, everyone wants to sit in the famous chair from Game of Thrones. The island is so small, you're never far from the sea. Well, this is a very charming view over the fag end of Dubrovnik, beyond Dubrovnik really. This island has a very tropical feel to it. This is Dubrovnik Old Town, and you can see one of the ferries just setting out from the old port there, coming towards us at Lokrum. It's a very charming millionaire's yacht down there. Looks like someone's just going to visit the mainland from the big boat. And so now it's time to go back to Dubrovnik on the ferry, so we're going to wait for a couple of minutes.